Alright, hi guys, welcome back. So, last video we talked about, as far as the walkthrough, were the very basics as far as all the things. One thing I wanted to kind of tack on right at the end, just because the last video was a little bit longer, was a lot of times throughout the course of using all the things, if we kind of do a quick take a peek at the settings here, I've gone through and I've, for the most part, removed a lot of the automatic opening when it comes to all the things and all the little mini windows. There's commands for each one, and we're going to kind of work on the raid assist one today. But the reason I bring that up is that you can go through and have the windows automatically pop up. I think by default the menu list does, but at least for the sake of, maybe we'll say sanity, the sake of convenience, if you go through and make a macro. So one of the macros that I have on every single character is one instance reset, but we'll get to that later. Is all the things. So if you do a slash all the things, or you do a slash att, it'll pull it up. So I have that key bound. So if I close this, it'll pull up my entire list over here. And you can do the same thing with attra, which is raid assist, which we'll talk about today, and then a couple of others that we'll talk about in other videos. But I wanted to, like I said, talk about the raid assist a little bit. And similar to all the things, so if we just type in attra, and I'll go through and I'll link this in the video, it'll pull this up. So what is this? It's the same in a sense as far as this window goes, as far as what we can go through and understand from this encounter. So if I go through and I hover over this, as you can see here, I'm looking at the minimap. I'm looking at the little tag on the side. It's 10-man normal. So that's kind of where we're seeing this here. So this is our dungeon difficulty. This is our raid difficulty. This is our raid size. And this is our means of resetting the instance. Okay. So one of the things that I also go through and point out is that I tell you what loot specialization you are. For a raid like Firelands, where it's legacy loot, that doesn't matter too much. But in a situation where, let's say you're in an instance and you have legacy loot, but you have loot coins, which run off of personal loot, this is going to matter. But it'll automatically update as you go through and you change your loot spec. So if we go to, say, holy, say for example there's a, I don't know, an intellect two-handed mace or something, we can switch to that, and you'll notice that this has changed over to holy. Then again, if we switch it back, it switches back to protection, but also lets us know that this is the automatic. So if we, I think if we switch our actual spec to ret, our spec here, our loot spec should also switch to ret. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Again, similar to the last video where we can move this around anywhere we want by left clicking the top line here. We can also change the size a little bit. And so we're going to go through and we're going to hit this guy down here. Because one thing I want to show is I'm going to set this to the side. We'll set that right there just for the sake of making this clean. So we're going to race over to this guy. And we're going to just go hit him one time. Let him know that we're here. As an example. Alright, so business done there. So we'll mount up. And we're going to simply reset the instance by, there's a couple of different commands out there. I tend to use other ones, but this one's really convenient just for the sake of knowing how to do it. So let's say, for example, you're farming Firelands trash for BOEs, or another instance for greens, or whatever the case may be, in a scenario where you need to reset the instance. So without changing anything, I'm going to hover over a reset instance, click on it. Just a simple left click. We'll run back in. So what should happen is that we should see that guy back up again. I think with raids it might work a little bit different as far as reset goes. No, we're there. There he goes. So our little guy's back. So our big guy is back, I guess. So that's pretty much the reset and all of your functionality here. If we run back out, and the important thing is to keep an eye on that little mini list. So I'm going to drag it back in the middle, just so it's a little bit easier to see here. So if we go through and we want to change our instance, I think, let's see, let's look at it this way. Let's make it a little bit larger here. So what I've done is if I go through here and let's say that I click it, right click on this, I can now click on 25 heroic. So if I click on that, now I've changed my instance to 25 heroic, just as a quick little understanding here. So I'm going to go over that one more time real quick. So if I go through and let's say that I want to change the raid size from 10 man to 25 and then from normal to heroic. So I can go through, click on this, change it to heroic, and now the raid's on heroic. I can go to this part and change it to 25. And that'll go through, now to keep that at raid level 25. Again, if we wanted to reset it, I don't think it's going to because we haven't been in there and we haven't done anything yet. But that's more or less your raid assist. The entire time letting you know what your loot spec is. A lot of people that use this will tend to go through and just kind of set it off to the side, or they'll set up a macro command for it. But it's just a really nice feature to go through and just click on the buttons and change things there for you if you need it. But that's just as an option for raid assist. One thing I do want to point out in the main list. So I'm going to pull this back over here. So let's run back into the instance. One thing that you'll find as you're running throughout the instances and stuff like this is that sometimes, for whatever reason, you may not know what difficulty you're in. So, or maybe what raid you're in, what the name of it is. So, let's say, for example, if we go into Dungeons and Raids, we know we're in Cataclysm because it's Firelands. But you'll notice in the list, it's highlighted. Firelands is actually highlighted. It doesn't go through and break down which difficulty you're in over here, but it does let you know that, hey, you're here. Everything that's Firelands related is highlighted, but that's there. Again, similar to what we were saying yesterday, as far as the raids. The raids are in a dark orange, and then the dungeons are in a light yellow or light orange, whatever the color is. But that's there for you guys as well. So hopefully that helps. But until next time, I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys.